You can practically smell the semen through the screen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's really disgusting.
Jesus
am I right
Christ.
or am I wrong? You tell me. You know, and if any of them are your friends or anything, I don't mean any disrespect.
Western society is circling the drain, and so are women. Featuring the Arc Master of Knowledge, the Sage of the Sexes, the Wizard of Women himself, Coach Redpill. My prediction, I'm pretty sure he just likes tradcon women, right? So women are sleeping with too many people, getting too many degrees, not taking care of the house. What do you think? Also, he has a lot of sex with 18-year-olds. He really wants you to know that. So not coping.
If you can't keep a girl's attention,
you have no idea what I can or cannot do. Don't cringe too hard here, bud.
I think I have a pretty fair idea of what you can't do, buddy. And you can't get the interest of a 19-year-old sweetie. Not you, buddy.
It goes back to the fact that the United States and the Western democracies got rich. It's simple as that. And so as they get rich, as a society gets rich, it gets really comfortable. And so women are always clamoring for more, and men are always clamoring for more too. I mean, you know, don't get confused. People always want more because people are greedy. And so women...
Let's say, okay, I'm going to back up and explain some of these things, okay? People always want more because people are greedy. It's not really that. People always want more because we acclimate to our surroundings. There was a really surprising study. I think I asked a question on stream once where it was like, are people who are crippled, handicapped, I don't know what you say now, are they actually happy? Or are you like miserable every day of your life? And I want to say there was a study for like that people that lose limbs and stuff, like you acclimate to a new level of happiness like pretty quickly. Like that's just something that happens. And it's true of like more wealth and everything too. Like you acclimate like very quickly. Nobody wakes up every single day like, oh my God, I'm rich. Oh my God, I've got this. Oh my God, I've got this car. Like that thing that wears off really quickly. So people are kind of on this, someone in Twitch chat said hedonistic treadmill. Where you're like constantly, you know, looking for more and more and more and more and more, because that's just kind of like the nature of acclimating to what you have, you know? It's not like people are greedy and horrible. That word like greedy is just really loaded.
Want more, and during the 60s, they wanted more sexual freedom for various reasons that are too complicated to get into. And our society, our rich society, said, okay, now why was sexual liberation a bad thing? Well, because you see, sexual liberation, or let me phrase that, women's sexuality has always been tightly controlled in every society. Because, see, if a woman sleeps around, she'll eventually get pregnant. And if a man is not attached to that woman, right? If she's just a woman and gets pregnant and there's no man around because she fucks so many guys that nobody knows who the father is, right? This is pre-DNA shit. Well, then the society as a whole is going to have to take care of that woman and her kid, right? And this will be a drain on the society. And so the society wants to ensure that women don't fuck around so that they don't get pregnant out of wedlock, because they want every kid to belong to a guy who will provide the resources for the kid so that the society as a whole doesn't have to provide for the kid. But what happened in the 60s? Well, you had like the Great Society program.
Okay. Anytime people start appealing to like Evo Psych for like how the world ought to work, you know, also is really cringe, okay? No offense, especially though when the people that are doing that are like overweight, out of shape people. Like, come on, like in any Evo Psych world, like you're gonna die just as quickly as any slut woman or whatever you like claim to hate so much. Okay, fucking slow your roll there, Chief. All right, Jesus Christ.
Lyndon Johnson started in what, 63, 64?
Like this guy's fucking like. This guy's 3 insulin prescription filaments away from like being dead. Okay, like chill. All right, calm down, man.
And because of these Great Society programs, specifically welfare, it incentivized women to basically not worry about having a man. They could fuck around, potentially get pregnant, and the government would give them a check. And you got welfare queens and all the rest of it. But the point is that, see, women got the sexual liberation because the government, the state, the society was willing to subsidize their sexual misadventures. That's what happened. See? And so because of this, the society basically accepted single mothers. And because it accepted single mothers and it accepted women who would fuck around, it demotivated men. And you have men who are just deciding, you know, fuck this shit. I don't have to deal with this shit. Because all these women, they got so entitled, feeling that they deserve so much, that they figure that they don't have to try to make themselves more feminine, more attractive to attract the right guy. They figure they could be just, slatternly and, fat and ugly and pathetic, and it wouldn't matter because, see, they'd be able to get money from the government. Or
I feel like all of our standards have kind of changed. Like, again, like, no offense, and I don't mean to make like so many like personal attacks. That's not really what I'm interested in here. But like, if you're going to be somebody that is going to like talk about how like lazy women are and they like don't take care of their appearance and shit, well, okay, well, why don't you hit the gym? Like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, you're obese. Like, how are you gonna sit here and decry all women and their lack of beauty standards and everything? Like, come on. Like, dude. Destiny, to be fair, you're fat too and men do it too aren't really arguments against what he's saying. Sorry, I have to bridge this, I guess. I shouldn't do this in my head. So if you're going to claim that women aren't, if you want women to fill out hyper-traditional roles, then it only stands to reason that you should also probably filling out hyper-traditional roles. If you want a thin, beautiful woman that's gonna stay home, take care of the house, take care of the kids, and fill out that hyper-traditional role, then you should be a strong, like, muscly endowed man that has a successful career that's capable of taking care of the household on the financial side. If you're failing massively on your end, if you're a balding, chubby, obese guy that doesn't really have anything to his name or whatever, and then you're getting upset for women constantly not like meeting your expectations, well, I mean, like, dude, I'm sorry, but you're like solidly average as well. Like, what are you looking for here? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you have such a high expectation for all these women to be these 10 out of 10s when you're 5? Like, I don't understand. That's what I'm saying when I'm saying like you do this too. Now, like, fuck, I thought I even specified this earlier when I was saying like, I don't like attacking people for appearance. I don't think that's a valid way. I don't think that necessarily like makes you bad if you look like him. I don't think anything looks wrong with him. I mean, like, he's a little overweight or whatever, but that's fine, right? But when you're gonna get up here and be like, oh, well, no, this is the hyper-traditional society that we need and blah, blah, and women are too entitled. It's like, okay, well, what are you doing? You wouldn't be ready for whatever traditional society that you're looking for. Like, I didn't know I needed to bridge that logic, but...
Or fuck around and have as much sex as they wanted to, and use the law to get the alimony from the potential father of her children, right? And so this adds up and demotivates men. Now, I noted a book called Sex and Culture by a man named J.D. Unwin, U-N-W-I-N. I suggest you guys read it. You can download it for free as a PDF. This book was written in like the early 1930s. This guy was an anthropologist, a big brain. Oh. In anthropology today, they fucking hate his fucking guts, which tells you that he's probably right, okay?
Yeah.
But he basically says this, that all societies, he analyzed like 500 different societies of all sorts. And he came to the following conclusions. Great societies collapse because they become rich, and as they become rich,
great society. Did you guys know that great societies always collapse because of insert my whatever pet ideology here? So it's either because they're too racially diverse, it's either because they don't control women's vaginas enough, it's either because they stop respecting like traditional faith. It's whatever your particular thing is, and then also your go-to example will always be Rome. Okay, that's always how these work. It's always Rome died because of this reason, and all big societies die because of this reason. And this reason just happens to be the thing that my ideology perfectly addresses. Capitalism, gays,
sure
yeah, whatever.
Before the 20th century was less exposed for monogamous. I wrote a paper for uni about German emigration to the US. More than half of the village that emigrated were out of wedlock, and bringing up kids was part of the village.
Yeah, maybe.
They are able to subsidize women's sexual promiscuity, and because of it, it demotivates men, and because of it, the society begins to crumble and fall apart, even as the women demand more and more rights and entitlements. Now, does that remind you of any current situation maybe happening anywhere?
United States, right now, right here.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You got these women. They're fat. They're dressed in these tracksuits. They look horrible. Their skin is pimply, I mean, they look like fucking land whales in Adidas tracksuits, right? And they demand, George Clooney or, whoever is like the handsome guy of the Jonas Brothers, whoever the fuck. I don't know who the girls are crazy about nowadays, but they're always crazy about somebody, right? They're crazy about, they demand, they think that they are deserving of.
I mean, as opposed to men who are crazy for like the Pamela Andersons and the whatever celebrity girl Britney Spears, singers, like pop star, whatever. Like, I mean, men have their like celebrity obsessions and crushes too, yeah?
Some Chad, right? And what the fuck, you know? And it's because they're entitled. It's because the whole society is catering to them. And that's what's going on. And it's pathetic. But, well, it's the way of the world. And so if a guy wants a quality woman, and what's a quality woman? A woman who is going to prioritize her family over herself. A woman who is going to try to ensure that her man succeeds, that she's not going to be a weight, a drain on the man, but rather a complement to the man. A woman who wants to have children and wants to have healthy children, healthy in all respects, you know, physically healthy, mentally healthy. You know, that kind of woman, of course, you might find such a woman in the United States, but it's going to be really fucking hard, okay? And what'll happen is that you're going to have to go to other places to find such a woman, because American women, the whole culture is geared towards making them feel entitled, making them lazy, making them unfeminine, you know? I mean, come on, man. I mean, you guys have women on your show all the time, right? I see them, man. Come on, look at them. Huh? Skanky.
Brothers, don't buy into the... Hold on, we've got a key super chat coming in. Brothers, don't buy into the fairy tales about foreign women. They are just the same money drain like the Western women, just less body positive. Oh my God. I mean, technically the incel thing, this is good, I guess. It means less guys out there competing for the same pool of women, right? Because I guess they've removed themselves from the market.
Slutty. They fuck so much cock that you know, you can practically smell the semen through the screen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's really fucking disgusting.
Jesus
am I right
Christ.
or am I wrong? You tell me. You know, and if any of them are your friends or anything, I don't mean any disrespect, but that's how they come across.
No,
come on.
a good portion of them, you know, have been through the cock carousel, you could say.
Yeah, I would argue that most virgins in 2021 are now men. They're not women anymore.
Oh, yeah, this. I'm saving myself for a virgin trad wife. And this, I wish I could one day marry a deranged, asocial schizoid. Like, this is literally what, like, it feels like this is unironically like the arguments that people are making. Like it reminds me of like the vaccine people. Like if you were, like if people who are like, I don't want to put anything foreign in my body, right? It's like, okay, if you're like a vegan, all natural diet, you know, like person that gets out, exercises, blah, 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 and you don't want to take a vaccine, I think it's dumb, but you at least have like a leg to stand on. But if you like are eating McDonald's every day, tons of fried processed food, you take drugs from strangers at parties, you do all this, drink coffee every day, Red Bulls, Monsters, Fire, and then you're like, I don't want to put anything foreign in my body. It's like, okay, dude, come on, really? Like, that's all I'm saying. I agree with you 100%, but devil's advocate, you said last week that women care about career and resources while men care about appearance. By your logic, if Redpill is a successful YouTuber, doesn't he qualify your argument for an attractive woman? I mean, he probably could, but that's not really what we're talking about right now. We're talking about his prescription that all women in society are fat and ugly losers or whatever. True, but I don't understand why you can't steelman his argument instead of attacking his character. I agree with you, by the way, but this isn't really disproving his point. Okay. The steelman version of his argument can't be put forth by a person like him. That's the point that I'm making, is that he can't criticize all women for failing in society, for not doing the work, when it seems like he himself hasn't done the work to live in the society that he advocates for. That's what I'm saying. That it doesn't feel like he truly believes in that traditional society where men are strong, powerful caretakers and women should be tradcon wives. It seems more like he's just an entitled baby that wants all women to exist to appease him. That's what it sounds like. It's hard to steelman the position from somebody that's trying to say all women ought to be like this thing, or women are failing their responsibilities, when it doesn't seem as though he's done much to uphold his traditional lifestyle responsibilities. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so if he was that perfect guy, you'd agree with that society? That's the core argument? No, if he was the perfect guy, it would be a different set of arguments I'd use against him. But I already told you that, like, Okay, hold on. Wow, this is really fucking stupid. I literally just said verbatim that if somebody lived an all-natural vegan lifestyle and they ate healthy and they worked out all the time or whatever, and they wanted to be an anti-vaxxer, then that person would have a leg to stand on when they utter the phrase, I don't want to take unnatural things in my body. But I explicitly said they'd still be dumb, I would still disagree with them, but at least it would feel like they're making a legitimate argument and they're not concealing some other type of desire. It seems to me like that person at least like is making a real argument and is coming from a real place because they're living a lifestyle that's consistent with their messaging. I don't want to take anything foreign into my body, and I don't. I take care of my body, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, sure. Let's argue about vaccines then. But if you're like a fat, pudgy, balding, middle-aged person without much success or whatever, and you're screeching about how like women are destroying society because they're all sluts and whores and they aren't doing the traditional things that they need to in order to like make society good, well, it's like, okay, well, you seem to be just as much a part of the, I guess like if you wanted to go forward and say like next, like, oh yeah, and I'm a part of the problem too, it's made me like fat and lazy or whatever, then I guess sure. But in prior confrontations that I've had with him, I mean, like he's screamed at me about how he's like an alpha male that continuously fucks 18-year-olds. You can go watch those videos, I guess, if you want. They're asking you to take on the argument disconnected from the person. I mean, he hasn't given me an argument yet because I don't know what the prescription is yet. I don't know what, like he's making some vague statements. This is what I tried to do in the beginning. He's making vague statements, but then he's morally loading them. And some of the things that he's saying aren't necessarily good or bad. He just like loads them a certain way. So for instance, one of the very first things he said is like, people are greedy. They always want more and more. It's not that people are greedy. It's that people acclimate. And once they reach a certain level of whatever, they're of course going to want more. That's not greed. There's nothing wrong with that, right? When he says things like the government has enabled it so that women don't have to take care of their kids because they get alimony, that's just not true. People don't use alimony just to have kids and not take care of them. Like most mothers don't want to be single mothers, despite what any crazy conservative that's against the welfare state will tell you. That's just not how people make choices about having children. I don't know. There's no counter for these arguments because it's just his like opinion. He's giving an opinionated version of events that like access to birth control has made all women sluts. I mean, it's given them some level of reproductive freedom, but like, is that bad? I mean, we can get into that. But he hasn't made an argument yet. But we're still like we're like 3 minutes into the video. Or oh no, we're not. We're basically done with the video. I don't know what hold on. Too many zeros. You get skipped. I don't know what like. People like this are very quick. This has actually been my most effective way of dismantling socialist arguments and alt-right arguments, is people will come up and they'll complain all sorts of ways about like the horrible state of society and the horrible blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, well, what do you want to do different? What should be different? What should change? What do you want to change?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. We always say it on this podcast, if you take an average woman and an average guy, she's probably going to do laps around the guy sexually as far as like experience and partners and everything else like that. So, yeah. You know, the days of virgin women are done. It's more virgin men, if anything.
You know who wins in this situation? It's the top 20% of men.
This top 20% of men, like, it's such a male-centric view of the world. Like, this is like, I talk about the difference, like, men fixate on the friend zone, but they have no idea, like, that a lot of women are stuck in the fuck zone, right? Where, you know, a lot of men get really upset because women can fuck more than they do, but that's not necessarily what all women are looking for. Like, people talk about, like oh, 20% of the men control 80% of the pussy, or whatever, and it's like, okay, but I don't think that the 80% of the women want to be necessarily in that category. Like, is it easier to get fucked as a woman? Yeah, sure, but I think, like, it's not the same thing as, like, finding a relationship, you know? Anytime you hear somebody bring out those hypergamy arguments, you're in for some hardcore yikes city shit. Would you say the ratio of girls in the fuck zone to guys in the friend zone is equal? Based on the polling data that we watched or that we looked at, it seems to be the case. I don't know why, but it seems to be the case that women are a little bit better being on their own, meaning not in a relationship, than guys are. I don't know why that is the case. I think one guess that we made was that maybe it's because women's friendships are more fulfilling than men's friendships. Maybe. What's the fuck zone? Well, the friend zone is a guy that thinks that if he constantly friends a woman over and over and over again, and he's a really good friend and he keeps trying really hard, eventually she's gonna wanna fuck him. She's gonna wanna like date him because that's how it'll work. If you just, we're not realizing that the woman just sees the guy as a friend and she's never gonna date that guy. So you're stuck in the friend zone. The fuck zone for women is a woman meets a cute guy, they fuck, guy doesn't seem interested in a relationship, but the woman thinks if I just fuck him over and over and over again, if we keep having sex, eventually he's gonna wanna date me. Copium, please, he'll date me. So you're stuck in the fuck zone. Your societal value as a man is based on how attractive you are. That is absolutely not true. Not contemporarily speaking, not generally, no. I feel like the people who think that there's an 80-20 thing going on don't actually care about people that just want sex. They just get mad when the girl can tell that and doesn't want to fuck them. When the girl can tell that and doesn't want to fuck them. Maybe. I think in contemporary society, men tend to be valued more for like career and like stability related things or success in life or whatever. Where can I find the data on women do better alone? I think we looked up, it was like Gallup, like search for like Gallup poll men, women looking to date or whatever. And I think it was like 47% of women over 30 are not looking to date. And it was like 33% of men aren't looking to date. So there were far more women that were out of the market than men. The thing is, lots of guys probably wouldn't mind being in the fuck zone. Maybe, possibly. I think it depends on, I don't know about that. I think it depends. I don't think a lot of people will find like the type of fulfillment that they're looking for out of just fucking. No, actually, I don't think that's true at all, actually. No, I don't think so. Because men can be just as jealous and possessive as women can be. I don't know if a lot of men would be happy being...
I am subscribed on Twitch and yet my name is still white. Fix it, Keku.
I don't know if a lot of men would be happy being in a sexual relationship with a woman that's not exclusive, that's fucking other guys. A lot of guys think they want to be in the fuck zone, but they never want to stay there. Yeah, probably. This is why friends with benefits arrangements like have so much trouble so many times. I successfully converted a friend zone. It can be done, guys. Okay, listen, dude, all right? Just because you got out of jail doesn't mean you have to come to my chat and start typing shit, all right? Hit him up with the Cosby memes. What do you think makes a woman more valued socially? I think women, generally speaking, right now are like valued for like appearance and like I'd say youthfulness, but it goes into appearance. But I think women are generally valued for that socially right now in terms of dating. Although that's kind of sort of changing, but do you think women are valued for emotional labor / support too? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could be it as well. Although it's harder to find that on the outside, right? You'd have to start dating somebody for a while to know that. Yeah, I want a sugar mama, true. Honestly, I think for a lot of guys, it's really difficult to be intimate with someone without having feelings for that person. I imagine it's also true for women too. I think that's true for everyone. I think a lot of people lie about their abilities to deal with casual sexual encounters, or at least over long periods of time. Maybe one night stands, people are able to disconnect, but I think a lot of people have trouble carrying on long-term sexual relationships and keeping them unromantic. Hey. Do you think the larger number of women not looking to date is a real reflection of people not wanting to date, or partially a function of dating market where men make the first move? Oh, no, this was actually like polled for like women that were currently looking for somebody, and it seemed like there were far more women that weren't. So it seems like women can be happier outside of a relationship than men can be. That's my takeaway from that. That might not be true. That was just my takeaway from that.
Dark Shadow Elm, $10. I think every guy on earth can get out of the friend zone. Just shoot your shot. If you get rejected, just stop being her friend. You can't be in the friend zone if you aren't her friend.
What do you mean? Women have an easier time getting into relationships too. They just have a harder time getting into one with the top 20% of men because they have more sexual market value. Well, it depends on what you mean by top 20% of men. I don't know what you mean when you say that. Do you mean just by attractiveness, or do you think by like success? Women have easier time getting into relationships too. I mean, it's easier time getting into relationships with people that you want. They just have a harder time getting into, the standards question is hard, I'm not sure. A woman not looking to date might still end up dating somebody, be happy with that. They can be not looking, but if something comes along, it's harder for men to take that position. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, because for men, nothing will just come along, right? You have to make the move. Maybe, possibly, I'm not sure. The friend zone is like 99% a guy's fault. I hate that it's something a woman does to a guy. I disagree. As I get more and more experience, I think that there are a lot of women that are either socially have problems, or are pretty gross in that they like are. It's obvious that there's some guy that's like hopelessly like wrapped around a girl's finger, and I think that there are women that are like aware of this and take advantage of it. That I think is kind of gross. Okay. I'm buying my attraction to men is a lot more based on personality. I have to get to know them unless they're hot, and I wonder if women are the same way. If that's true, then any guy that's not attractive is fucked in online dating. Yeah, online dating can be pretty hard, sure. I remember I remember there was a girl that I knew that would talk about how she talked about how there was like a friend that she had, and this guy was like kind of, this was really irritating when I found this out. So she would complain a lot that there was a guy in their friend group, and she would say, oh, like this guy is like very much like, he's starting to get like a little bit creepy around us, or he's starting to get like very like forward, even though we've all been friends for a long time. And yeah, it's getting to be a lot, and it's kind of annoying. We don't know what to do. And then I find out later that she tells me that like this guy is kind of like more or less confessed feelings for her, but she said that like, oh, well, you know, I don't really see him like that. So I told him, and I think we're all cool with it. But then like when I've hung out with these people, I can see that they're like very close physically. And then when I talk to like her other friends, I find out that she asked that guy to like move with her to be friends into like another state halfway across the country when they go to college. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Like, I don't know. Like, I see shit like that, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, this is like horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Jesus. Research shows that online dating is the most common way couples meet now. Yeah, because apparently less and less people are meeting through friends. You've seen that like 20% of people say they lack a single close friend. Yeah, the internet's a scary place. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed. Thank God. Yeah, true. You all have your close friend destiny. We're good, guys.